It's Tracy. She tries to force her way in and gets it to fall. Three-point shot for Irwin. Perfect. Pierre Gustavo will take the shot from three-point range. Jess Tomaso answers right back with the three. Right on cue, it's Valenzola for three for Burley, and she sinks the basket. Dahlgren, who takes the quick shot. Liskov lets it go and knocks it down. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the gymnasium at Milford High School as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call. I will be joined by Carl Wilhelm in just a few short moments. Tonight we bring you the Lady Hawks basketball team after a lengthy absence from their home gym. They return to the floor here tonight to take on one of their biggest non-conference rivals in the neighboring Hopedale Lady Blue Raiders. Milford, all things considered, a very good stretch to open up this season. They enter into competition here tonight with an overall record of 6-2. They are 4-2 within league play. It has been quite a while since we have seen the Lady Hawks here on their home gym. The last time we had a chance to cover the girls was back on December 20th. That was a 52-39 win against Taunton High School, and that game was right in the midst of a 5-game winning streak for this Lady Hawks team. 4 out of those 5 wins came by a margin of double digits, as this Lady Hawks offense has been very strong. The defense also very tough for this Milford team. They saw that 5-game winning streak come to an end in their last game. That came just yesterday, back on January 17th. A tough 51-45 loss to the North Attleboro Lady Rocketeers. North Attleboro new to the Davenport division and entered into that game in first place, just ahead of Milford. The Lady Hawks were able to score 19 points in the first quarter to set the tone in that game. They carried a 1-point lead into the final 90 seconds of competition, but North Attleboro was able to get a key steal in those closing seconds, followed by a basket, and then they closed out the game, rattling off 5 of 6 free throws to ice the victory. So a difficult loss for Milford in a game that they were in right until the end against the first-place team in the division, but Milford looks to get right back on the winning path here tonight against a Hopedale team that is entering into play tonight with just 1 win on their season so far. They come in overall at 1-7, of course operating out of the Dual Valley League. And a bit of a rebuilding mode for this Hopedale team right now that has just 3 total upperclassmen on this varsity roster, just 2 seniors and 1 junior, and the rest of the team comprised of the underclassmen, sophomores and freshmen, making up the bulk of this team, so getting a lot of tough growing pains out of the way here as this season goes on. Again, 1-7 coming into competition tonight, so a tough order for this Hopedale team taking on a Milford program that has been very strong, competing in the very tough Hockomock League so far this season. Milford enters play in 3rd place position in the Davenport, but it is a bunched up field atop the standings with North Attleboro leading the way in Foxborough, just ahead of Milford with an overall record of 6-1, and Milford, of course, 6-2 coming into competition here tonight. They look for win number 7 as again they take on the Hopedale Lady Blue Raiders. We will have the opening tip of this game when we come back next, so stay tuned to coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics right here on Milford TV. And welcome right back inside the Milford gym. Time for basketball between Milford and Hopedale. The starting 5s for these 2 teams. Before we get started, we begin with the visitors, the Hopedale Lady Blue Raiders. Their starting 5, Kathleen Maloney, Katie Kohler, Jordan Wilson, Haley Karen, and Taylor Goldstein. And for the Lady Scarlet Hawks, it is Kate Irwin, Nicole Dahlgren, Christine Pye, Jill Burley, and Juliana Tracy, as Tim Coet and Carl Wilhelm bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks girls basketball here on Milford TV. The opening tip, and the ball eventually settled down by the visitors, the Hopedale Lady Blue Raiders, as this game gets underway. Hopedale with just that 1 win in their first 8 attempts on the season, in last place right now in the Dual Valley, as right now it is the sophomore Kathleen Maloney looking for an open pass partner as the shot clock ticks down to 10 seconds. They take the shot from the free throw line. It's misfired by Katie Kohler, and now Milford immediately pushes the tempo up the floor. They dish it to the senior captain, Nicole Dahlgren, and she gets the opening points of the night.
Great move there on the fast break, and a great job here, tipped and out of bounds back to the Lady Hawks.
2 teams right now sort of in different points of development. Milford has been a team that has seen those tough seasons as they brought a young nucleus of players together at an early point. And over the last few years, we've seen that young nucleus develop into the talented team they are now. Hopedale more at the beginning of that journey. So the makings perhaps of a mismatch here tonight. As Kate Irwin gets the pass to the captain, Jill Burley, who floats it in the lane and gets 2.
Bringing a lot of pressure here early in this game as well, challenging the inbounds here in a game that you would think Milford should have handily all night, regardless of a full court press.
Hopedale able to advance the ball to the front court. Now a dangerous pass inside is tipped, and Milford is able to recover, so already a couple of turnovers. Kate Irwin will toss up the contested shot inside amid 3 defenders. It's offline, and Hopedale controls the defensive rebound. Now Hopedale will release the 3. It's off the front of the rim, taken by Jordan Wilson, one of the 2 Hopedale seniors, as Nicole Dahlgren down the other end.
Milford early here looking to get a lot of points in transition, really pushing the ball up court.
Back in the weeks leading up to the regular season, when I talked to Coach Dolliver, the transition offense was something that he said became a strength of this team as the season went on last year, and they look to pick up on that this season. Showing it off so far tonight as Kate Irwin drops back for the long 2.
When you've got such a high-energy guard in Kate Irwin, and she can really run the floor, anytime you can push the ball down the court, I think it's an advantage to this team.
Milford again putting the pressure on defensively. Hopedale gets it back in the hands of Maloney. Now the bounce pass to Haley Karen. Karen travels down to the far corner, gets trapped there, able to get the pass away this time to Wilson. And another missed shot for Hopedale, but they're able to get the deflection back in their own hands. Jill Burley gets back quickly defensively. And they'll say that deflected off of the Lady Blue Raiders, so that ball ping-ponging around. It ended up back in the hands of Hopedale, but they weren't able to do anything with it. Irwin now sets up Dahlgren from 3-point range off the back of the rim. The ball swatted down by Christine Pye, deflected to her teammate Jill Burley. Now Pye gets it back in her hands, shoots the 3, no good, and the ball ricochets up off of the supports for the basket, and it will go to Hopedale. Awkward inbounds pass eventually ends up in the hands of Katie Kohler. And now Maloney will push it up the floor, guarded closely by Dahlgren. Now active hands from Christine Pye. She gets the steal. And now the pass ahead to Irwin, as Milford has just been a turnover machine defensively through these early minutes.
Very aggressive, high-octane defense here so far.
Dahlgren now surveying her options, gets it to Pye. Now the long cross-court pass. It's pulled down by Juliana Tracy. She takes the shot, no good. Another rebound for Pye, as now Burley drives her way inside, can't get the bank off the glass, and finally Hopedale's able to secure the rebound as Jordan Wilson comes up with it.
One thing I like that Milford is doing here tonight, very quick decisions on offense. When they get a chance to put the shot up, they're taking it right away. Even though when you're playing a lesser opponent in Hopedale, those things will pay dividends later in the season, just working on that quick catch and release.
The 4th turnover generated by Milford as Dahlgren tries to go the give-and-go route with Burley. She wasn't quite expecting it, but Milford is able to track down the loose ball. Now the soft touch pass into Christine Pye, and she gets fouled.
I would have liked to have seen a little bit quicker ball rotation at the top of the key there. Irwin got the ball in her hands and thought about it for a second. If she just quickly pushed that around, it would have been a wide open lane or a jumper for Milford.
Instead, we'll see free throws from Christine Pye with still 3:59 to go in the first quarter.
It's not a bad result. That was just... I always shoot for 100% success in anything I do. I went back and watched my tape of this last game. I did, and I thought I was too low energy, kind of Jeb Bush style. So now I'm really going to try and bring it up a notch tonight.
Your nickname game was very strong in the last game, as I recall. Milford off of the free throw miss is able to wrestle away the ball. They set it up for Irwin, and she knocks down the 3.
Great shot from Irwin from three-point lane. Quick decision again, drains it.
And a 10-0 run to start this game for the Lady Scarlet Hawks with 3:38 to go in the first. Now another tipped ball. Hopedale able to keep it alive. Right now, Milford just exerting their will against Hopedale through this first quarter. Hopedale's one win on this season so far came against a non-conference opponent in Leicester High School. That was back on December 30th, so right now they are 0 for the month of January. They've lost their last 5 straight, including their most recent game back on January 13th. That was a 43-34 loss to Nipmuc. And meanwhile, out on the floor now for the Lady Scarlet Hawks is Jess Tomaso, who of course last season transferred from Hopedale to Milford. And that was a big shift in girls athletics, both here on the basketball court and of course most notably on the softball field. Just a tremendous athlete in Jess Tomaso. More free throws coming up now for the Scarlet Hawks as Jill Burley goes to the line. Burley misses both attempts. Keeps it at a 10-0 score. Hopedale a near travel. And now the long floating shot out of the hands of Kohler. Hopedale still looking for that first basket. And what is a subdued Milford gym through this first quarter. Still 3:03 to go.
It's an illegal headband.
Hopedale getting instructions from the bench courtesy of their head coach Stephanie Caffrey. As Tomaso sends it outside to Burley, the two go back and forth. Burley now finds Pye in the corner. And now it's Irwin, she drives inside, can't quite elevate the shot. Juliana Tracy tracking down a couple of offensive rebounds and now resetting back outside. Still plenty of time on the shot clock as now Pye will unleash it from 3. Off the front of the rim, there's Tracy again with the rebound. Make it 4 rebounds on this possession for Juliana Tracy as now she gets the whistle.
4 rebounds and surrounded by 3 defenders, but I think she's about 6 inches taller than anybody that was there next to her.
Tracy, the junior, gets her first point of the night. Now one more free throw to go. A couple of good looks from the line and you can make it a 12-0 score. I mentioned it back during the pregame open. A 19-point first quarter against a tough North Attleboro team just last night. And so Milford once again putting together a very strong opening quarter of play. It's a 12-0 run to open the game for the Lady Hawks. As timeout is called on the floor, we will take the timeout as well. 2 minutes and 18 seconds to go. It's been all Lady Hawks so far here on Milford TV. Coach Caffrey for Hopedale trying to find those adjustments to get her offense jump-started in a first quarter that has seen Milford rattle off the first 12 points of the night.
I think those adjustments are probably a year or 2 away. It's a very young team and going up against a junior and senior-led team in Milford that really has some talented players both on offense and defense. Could be a long night tonight for the Blue Raiders.
Taking a look at some of the numbers for Hopedale coming into tonight's game, they're averaging just 32.5 points of offense per game as they let go the off-balance 3 and count it for Kathleen Maloney, who gets the visitors on the scoreboard. Tomaso, meanwhile, thinking about 3 on the other end, instead drives inside and draws the foul.
She threw up a prayer and it was answered. As soon as I opened my mouth, they shut me up.
Kathleen Maloney, one of the 5 sophomores on this varsity team. As Tomaso misses her first free throw attempt. 5 sophomores to go along with 4 freshmen. As Tommaso goes 1 of 2 from the line on that trip. Inside of 2 minutes to play in the first quarter as Milford puts the pressure on defensively. Maloney able to pick up speed up the floor, trying to shoot the pass ahead. Now in dangerous territory, it's recovered. And the floating shot just won't fall for Caitlin Giambetti. Stops the clock with 1:41 to play as the ball will stay with Hopedale with a fresh shot clock. The bounce pass is deflected. Quick hands by Tracy. And Milford pushes it up the floor in transition, and Burley unable to finish, but a good bounce right to Tommaso. She'll work her way inside, and again she gets fouled.
She had so much speed going towards the basket. She almost needed to slow down before she took those last 2 steps to lay it up and in. Just had a little too much momentum off the backboard.
Had a chance to sit in on a couple of preseason practices for this Lady Hawks team, and there is no question about it. Burley, by far the fastest player on the team.
Really? Against Irwin? They ran head to head?
Yeah, watching the drills, Burley had a lot of speed, broke away from Irwin at times. But obviously together out there on the floor, 2 of the quicker tandems in girls basketball in the Hockomock League. Burley guarding against Giambetti on the far wing. A couple of looks on this trip up the floor for Hopedale as that shot misfired by Taylor Goldstein, another sophomore.
Hopedale's starting at least to get some more open looks and less contested shots than they were early on. They were having trouble even controlling the basketball in the first 5 minutes.
Now they unleash the 3. It's over everything, but another offensive rebound as Maloney continues to impress in this first quarter. Jill Valenzola into the game trying to poke that ball loose and instead gets called for the foul. Valenzola and Emma Liskoff checking into the game in these late minutes as that ball is swatted loose, ends up in the hands of Tommaso. Now Liskoff, a long pass ahead to the wide open Burley, and again can't get the layup to land. But Milford keeps it going. Now Liskoff with the long 2, no good, and the ball tipped into the hands of Kathleen Maloney. We'll bring it up the floor with 40 seconds to play in the first quarter. Now driving inside Rachel Rizzo. They swing it back around to Maloney. They'll try to ride who has been their hottest hand so far in the first quarter, but Maloney can't come through, relatively speaking. Now here's Valenzola. She gets called for the travel.
Couldn't tell if she must have switched pivot foots. That's the only thing I can think of down there. She took a step before she put the ball down, but I've seen Hopedale with a lot of carrying situations early in the game, I think were passed over.
Final 13 seconds now of the first quarter. Maloney guarded closely. This ball deflects out towards midcourt, now into the hands of Liskoff. Milford with 2 seconds. Irwin getting in position for one final shot and can't get the bank off the glass. And that is how the first quarter will come to an end. Milford opens the game on a 15-3 run. That is your score. Milford with the 15-3 lead over Hopedale. At the end of one quarter, we will step aside briefly and have the second quarter next here on Milford TV. Second quarter now about to get underway here in the Milford gym. Jess Tommaso getting the ball into the junior Kate Irwin as we get going here in the second. A 15-3 lead for Milford. As they look to add to that immediately, Irwin driving baseline, can't get the shot. Valenzola fighting for that rebound.
Interesting jump ball call there.
The possession arrow going Hopedale's way. And now that ball deflected out of play, off the hands of Hopedale. So now Milford will take over as this time Emily Pierre-Gustavo sends the inbounds pass in. Pierre-Gustavo checking to the game for the first time. Kate Irwin getting a good look from three-point range. Not that time for Kate. Now here's Maloney, who has Hopedale's only points. She'll get a couple of looks, able to sink the second one.
Nice long pass down court. Just couldn't finish. Great job getting back by Hopedale to keep that one from being an easy 2 points from Milford.
Not a good idea to look down with this Lady Hawks team out on the floor. They can get the ball up towards the basket in a hurry. As now Liskov gets the bounce pass into Valenzola. They try to get the quick score off the inbounds, but Valenzola can't make the shot. Now here's Irwin again from three. This time she makes it. It's her second three-pointer of the night.
The ref was actually a sixth offender on that play for Hopedale. And Irwin did a nice job of stepping to the side and knocking down the three.
Irwin able to momentarily steal the inbounds pass, tried to deflect it back to a teammate, instead sent it right to Hopedale. And now the shot off the back of the rim for Giambetti, and the steal for Maloney. Can't get the shot, rebound, and that one's sent out of play, out of the hands of Haley Karen. They'll say it went off of Milford on the way. Milford guarding the inbounds well. They're able to loft the pass in to Maloney, and now Liskov, the captain, intercepts. Pierre-Gustavo pushes it up the floor, just tosses up a prayer and gets it to land. Now a chance for the three-point play.
You know, during the next stoppage, I was going to go on a mini rant about how they've been doing a great job of getting the ball down court in transition, but they just haven't been able to finish those types of plays. And then Gustavo throws up a great play high off the back of the glass and has a chance to finish the three-point attempt.
At the line now. And Emily able to sink it. So 3 quick points for Emily Pierre-Gustavo as Milford ups their point total to 21, and just making life very difficult to get the ball up the floor for Hopedale. Dahlgren, the long two, is no good. Liskov out working for the rebound. Right now, Kate Irwin getting a rest on the bench. Pierre-Gustavo from three, no good, but Dahlgren there to calmly collect the rebound. Now here's Valenzola down low. Milford very sure-handed out there as the shot clock still at 16. That ball ends up out of play. It will be Hopedale ball, so no results despite a lengthy possession. A 16-point lead for the Lady Scarlet Hawks with 5:55 to play. And another near steal off the inbounds.
That's a very interesting call.
Milford going for the steal, the foul called. Hopedale gets to continue as Pierre-Gustavo continues to play suffocating defense. Now Milford closing in on the sideline. Nicole Dahlgren poking that ball out of play. And Milford now will retreat back defensively. Milford showing no ill effects after letting a key victory against North Attleboro slip away just 24 hours ago. Hopedale can't get the open look directly off the inbounds. They send it back outside, and now they drive it in. The ball glances off the side of the backboard, and it will go as a shot clock violation.
Did they play with the same tempo last night?
Game in North Attleboro last night, didn't have a chance to see it in person. But clearly with 19 points in the first quarter, they were playing at a pretty good clip.
Sounds like they were pushing the ball in transition as well. They clearly have a style and a game plan since the second game of the season that I saw. Very up-tempo, very aggressive. I like what I'm seeing, and you know, a month from now, this could be a dominant force to be reckoned with within the league.
Good feed inside to Valenzola, but she can't finish. Milford with 6 wins on the season. They only need 4 more to qualify for a playoff spot, despite not even being at the halfway point in the season. Couple of looks offensively for Hopedale. Miss inside, and now back up the floor for the Lady Hawks as see Brianna Croto into the game, and just out of position there, couldn't receive the pass. Milford right now with Croto, Valenzola, Liskov, Dahlgren, and Pierre Gustavo. Getting some of the typical starters some rest here as the second quarter goes on. Irwin has rested for much of this second quarter so far. Dahlgren into Pierre Gustavo as we come down to the 4-minute mark in the second quarter. Pierre Gustavo harassed outside, tries to move in, now gets the pass to Liskov, and Emma Liskov gets her first points of the night. Now the bounce pass intercepted by Pierre Gustavo. Dahlgren all the way up the floor. Thought she'd draw the foul. No whistle comes. Hopedale with possession now. Rachel Swanson dribbling the ball up the court. Now they feed it down low to Goldstein. A missed shot, but quickly in is Swanson off the deflection, and going hard out of bounds was Dahlgren. She looks to be okay as she made some contact with a couple of fans in the front row. Still Hopedale basketball with under 3.5 minutes to play. Kathleen Maloney with the pass to Karen. Now into Goldstein. Off balance shot won't go. Here's Dahlgren through traffic. No look pass trying to find Tracy. Tracy guides it into the hands of Liskov. Now back to Tracy. That pass handcuffing Pierre Gustavo a bit, but she recovers. Now the ball poked loose. The bench counts down the shot clock down to 7 seconds. Someone will need to put it up. It's Liskov for 3, and she makes it.
Had help from the bench with the clock awareness, knew she had to take the shot, and she drains it.
5 points in the second quarter for Liskov, as now Hopedale unleashes the 3. It's not close. Liskov with the defensive rebound. Dahlgren takes her time as she brings it up the floor. Gets the quick feed back from Liskov, and the whistle under the basket stops the clock with 2:25 to go in the half. And this will send Nicole Dahlgren to the line.
I'm pretty sure every Milford player is taller than every Hopedale player on the court right now.
There's a decided height advantage in Milford's favor, that is for sure. Dahlgren nearly getting that good bounce off the back of the rim, but not so. Two misses. Milford 7 for 13 from the free throw line in this first half. There's Maloney again. Tosses up the tough shot. Brianna Croto gets the rebound, hands it off to Liskov.
Maloney has to work hard for each one of her shots, but by the time she gets them off, it's amazing how close a lot of them actually come to going in.
There's Croto. A minute 48 to play, a 26-5 score. Here's Maloney again. That time short on the three-point attempt. A great effort out of Haley Karen as she kept that ball from going out of play. The bad news was she sent the pass right to Milford. Now Pierre Gustavo launches the three. It's no good. She'll get another chance from 2-point range and gets the bounce. 5 points in the first half for Pierre Gustavo as we're under 90 seconds to go. Milford trying to hold their opponent to single digits in the first half as that ball nearly took a big bounce right into the net as Pierre Gustavo absorbs contact, doesn't get the whistle, but does get the 2 points.
It brings me back to my college days in intramural basketball, trying to pull off some trick shots in the middle of games.
Goldstein with that shot partially blocked. Dahlgren gets the pass away to Liskov. And Brianna Croto from 3 in the corner, no good. Right now about 5 seconds difference between shot clock and game clock as Hopedale tries for the long pass, and they pay the price with another turnover.
Let's see if they hold for one here.
Milford with about a dozen turnovers in this first half.
The coach is not happy about that one. He was asking the team to hold for the last shot. Apparently she didn't hear the request.
Tracy misses. It gives Hopedale a chance to bring it back down the floor. Goldstein getting harassed by Liskov and Dahlgren. Maloney from the far wing gets it back outside. The shot was past the buzzer anyway and is not close, and that brings an end to a first half that saw just an overwhelming effort from Milford here against Hopedale. They lead at 30-5. And on the Milford side, not really a whole lot of adjustments to be made, Carl, at halftime.
I think there's definitely some things you can work on, though, believe it or not, as they're up 25. The struggle for Hopedale is they have a serious size disadvantage, and it's going to be real difficult for them to get anything going on offense to begin with. But in terms of where Milford can get throughout this season, from the second game of the season till tonight, what I saw, some great improvements, but there's a lot of potential there, and a chance that once the postseason rolls around, if they can, knock down a few more open shots when they get the ball in transition, make those layups. There's just a couple things tonight that I've noticed that are improvements from game 2, but yet still leaves a little bit of hope. And throughout the season, you want to see progression, and you want to time it exactly right, getting into that playoff run, especially with a bunch of juniors on the team and some senior leadership. They got a great chance to make some noise later in the year.
Yeah, exactly where you want to be. Still room for improvement with a good chunk of the season still to go. Meanwhile, here tonight, it has been virtually all Milford through the first half, a 30-5 score. Milford in front of Hopedale. We will step away for halftime, and we'll have third quarter action for you when we come back next as you enjoy coverage of Milford High School girls basketball here on Milford TV. Once again, we welcome you inside the Milford Gymnasium as we are about to get underway with second half action between the Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks and the Hopedale Lady Blue Raiders. It is currently a 30-5 lead for the Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks, and in that first half, it was Kate Irwin who led the way with 8 points, despite playing limited minutes in the second quarter. Emily Pierre Gustavo with 7 points in that first half, Emma Liskov with 5. Jess Tomaso with 3 points, and Juliana Tracy, Nicole Dahlgren, and Jill Burley all with 2 points apiece. And it was a solid effort on the Hopedale side. Kathleen Maloney counting for all 5 of Hopedale's first half points. And we also saw a great deal of turnovers in the first half, and we see one again here to get going in the second half. And now the steal going the other way for Hopedale as Maloney will take it to the basket and gets the opening bucket of the third quarter.
A little bit of a lazy pass there from Irwin, and Hopedale jumped on the opportunity.
Now here's Jill Valenzola. Hasn't quite found her stroke offensively tonight. Milford able to keep the possession going. They hit Irwin outside for 3, no good. Irwin rested for a good bit of that second quarter, as I said, but active hands. She's able to get the steal, controls the loose ball, can't finish at the rim. Valenzola got a hand on the ball, but Hopedale able to secure the rebound. Milford with Irwin, Burley, Dahlgren, Valenzola, and Tracy, the 5 on the floor. And now that ball swatted away by Nicole Dahlgren and scooped up by Irwin. She has one defender to beat, goes inside for two. Double figures now for Irwin, a 10-point performance to this point. She set a new career high in points scored as part of that lengthy road trip that came a couple of weeks ago against Stoughton, where Kate Irwin dropped 27 points. That was on a 51-37 win against Stoughton back on January 6th. Here Irwin passes to Burley before Dahlgren gets her hands on it. Now Tracy down low, good passing. Now they send it back outside. Irwin fakes the three, takes the long two off the front of the rim. Tracy another rebound. It's going to be close to double figures in rebounds at this point.
Great read.
Another steal for Maloney and another layup. That's 4 points in this third quarter so far for Kathleen Maloney, who has all 9 Hopedale points.
Maloney a little undersized, but kind of has the Isaiah Thomas effect out there, and maybe in a year or two she'll be able to take over a couple games on her own.
Hopedale coming out of halftime with a little bit more intensity than what we're seeing out of Milford so far. The long two offline for Katie Kohler that time. Maloney has been the Hopedale offense to this point. And another sloppy pass is picked off as the ball ends up in the hands of Maloney, who will weave her way up the floor. Dishes the pass inside to Goldstein, and she is able to toss that one up over Juliana Tracy, and Taylor Goldstein now.
Another turnover here. I'd consider taking a timeout if I'm Milford, just kind of getting a little bit careless with the basketball. Might feel a little too confident in themselves after a big first half. Great take there, though.
Juliana Tracy gets her first shot from the field, bringing it to a 34-11 score. And now the steal. The ball up for grabs momentarily, but Milford settles it, gets it back to the point guard. Feed to Valenzola. Irwin gets it back, cuts to the basket, no problem. So those early Hopedale baskets may be waking this Milford offense back up, as now they bring their point total up to 36. A couple of quick makes. Goldstein inside, gets the bucket and the foul. So now it's 4 points for Goldstein with a chance to make it 5. With the free throw coming up, and we'll see some wholesale changes for Coach Dolliver's team as we see 3 substitutions come out on the floor. Pierre Gustavo, Croto, and Tommaso all check into the game.
So Hopedale had 5 points in the entire first half, and in the first 4 minutes of the second half, they have 9 points. So right now, the halftime adjustments, Hopedale coaching is winning.
Trying to narrow down what was a 25-point halftime deficit. Valenzola gets swarmed by the defense. Croto's pass to Tommaso catches her a little bit by surprise. We've seen that a lot so far in this third quarter as Pierre Gustavo unleashes a good-looking three-pointer, went halfway down and then ricocheted back out. Now Goldstein again fighting hard inside and draws the foul. It's going to go against Valenzola. She disagrees.
Yeah, you could have called an offensive foul there as she first pivoted with her left foot and threw an elbow to push off the spin back the other way and draw the foul on her way up. She actually was double teamed there.
Goldstein, who has 5 points so far in this third quarter. This is the first attempt. Hopedale outscoring Milford so far in this third quarter, 9-6. Goldstein able to make the second free throw. And that ball off the hands of Croto and into the Milford bench, and that one ended up right in the direction of head coach TJ Dolliver, who you can tell from the body language, is not all that pleased with the effort of his team so far here in the third.
For a 21-point lead, he'll definitely have some things to show the girls on tape after this one.
Maloney, no good that time, and Jill Burley will slow things down as she takes the ball across half court. Pierre Gustavo feeds Valenzola inside, looks for a pass, instead takes it to the basket, misses on the first attempt, gets her own her own rebound, I should say, and will now head to the free throw line. High arcing free throw attempt falls through for Valenzola. Nine different Lady Hawks players on the score sheet now in this game. Valenzola cannot make the second. It's a 22-point lead now for Milford. Goldstein out on the perimeter now. Get it to Maloney. Bounce pass into Goldstein. Taylor Goldstein, a different looking player here in the third quarter. She is now up to 8 points. Burley, the floater in the lane, is not all that close.
I don't know what Stephanie Caffrey said to her Blue Raiders at halftime, but whatever it is, worked.
Still trailing by 20, but much more of a spring in the step of these Lady Blue Raiders out on the floor.
Not only are they winning the quarter by 5, but they're putting up points. 12 points so far in the quarter.
Milford with a very consistent offensive effort through the first 2 quarters, 15 points in each of the first and second quarters.
Milford has backed off of that full court press. I mean, they did put a lot of pressure on the ball handlers early. Clearly they came in with a game plan, exerted a lot of energy early. Nice pass underneath.
Perfect cut inside to the basket for Burley. Play drawn up well.
That's why you have your hands up on defense, though, so passes like that don't happen. So Hopedale was caught with their hands down.
Goldstein in trouble. She was able to get the pass back outside. Now Maloney, the bounce pass to Kohler. She made her way to the rim. The possession kept alive and a fresh shot clock for Hopedale. Now driving baseline, they get a good pass to Goldstein. Can't get that shot around Emma Liskoff, and finally Emily Pierre-Gustavo able to put an end to that trip up the floor for Hopedale. Burley quickly goes the other way.
The Hopedale player was standing out of bounds and she tried to catch it. So it will remain Milford ball.
23 seconds on the shot clock as Tommaso takes the inbounds, immediately shoots the 3 from the far corner, but it's no good. Another turnover for Pierre Gustavo, but Hopedale able to get it back. They free up Maloney for the 2. She misses.
Let's see if they get the memo here. Last shot.
Final 13 seconds in what was a fairly swift-moving third quarter. Not many stoppages. The ball almost turned over. Now the miss inside. Croto fighting for the rebound. And she'll head to the free throw line with 1.5 seconds left in the quarter. Brianna Croto, a very good athlete, very hard worker. Served as a solid piece on the playoff girls volleyball team back during the fall season. And a good depth piece for Coach Dolliver off the bench here on the varsity basketball team. Good free throw shooting. And Hopedale will not even attempt a final shot as Brianna Croto with those free throws becomes the 10th Lady Hawks player to get on the score sheet on the night. Milford, a little bit of a sloppy start to that third quarter, but they were able to finish it off strong. A 41-17 lead now. And Carl, as you said, good halftime adjustments for Coach Caffrey and her team. Still obviously a long way to go, but you like to see those signs of improvement as the game goes on.
Well, if my math is correct, they won the quarter by 1. So if you're Hopedale, that's a great improvement, and they showed a lot of effort there in that third quarter, really finishing strong on the offensive end and creating good open looks that they're able to get around what is a height disadvantage we've pointed out between Milford and Hopedale. So if you're Coach Stephanie Caffrey, I mean, that's something you got to look at with a young team like that. For them to respond the way they did in that third quarter is certainly a positive thing.
Coach Dolliver continuing to crouch down in the huddle with his team.
It's two teams at two different points, right? I mean, you got a very young team on the Hopedale side, definitely some room to grow, literally and figuratively. So on the Milford side, you've got a few strong seniors, but a lot of very talented juniors who are looking to take that next step. So, from a coaching perspective, he can be a little bit more critical even when you're winning, and try and find those areas where you need to fine-tune and prepare this team for success later on in the season.
Just like that, time for the fourth quarter to begin.
Which is tough. It can be frustrating as a coach because when you know the talent of your team and they play well, and you still have to be tough on them.
Coach Dolliver with high expectations for this team. There is no question about that as Kate Lobuser checks into the game, trying to get that feed down low, but couldn't handle it. Milford right now with Jess Tomaso, Emma Liskoff, Kate Lobuser, Julia Lovely, and also Julie Rabinowitz out on the floor. Taylor Goldstein continuing, meanwhile, to have a very strong second half.
Excuse me, I'm curious what Hopedale's shooting percentage is in the second half. Seems like anytime they're getting an open look, they're knocking it down.
Here's Rabinowitz now from 3 off the front of the rim. That had most of the bench on their feet. Ball looked good out of the hands of Rabinowitz, but couldn't finish. Off the miss on the Hopedale side, Tomaso brings the ball up the floor. Again, they will free up Rabinowitz from 3. No good. Lovely with the rebound. They feed it down low to Liskoff. Milford closing in under the basket. Get the fresh shot clock. They kick it out to Tomaso, who passed up the 3-point attempt. Missed inside. Milford with another offensive rebound. They reset it now for Liskoff, and they'll count it from 3-point range. It looked like she might have had her foot on the line, but they say a 3-pointer.
They had plenty of attempts on that possession.
A little over 6 minutes to play in this basketball game. Now a 44-19 score as Maloney misses from outside. Milford able to get their full complement of players out on the floor in this game tonight. And playing back-to-backs for the first time this season, as we mentioned earlier, coming off of a tough loss to North Attleboro just last night. So good to get some fresh personnel out on the floor as Liskoff makes it back-to-back buckets. Liskoff into double figures now in the game. Lovely, the long outlet pass. She finds Julie Rabinowitz, and she gets her first points of the night here in the fourth quarter. Missed that time by Haley Karen of Hopedale. Liskoff, quick pass into Julia Lovely, and she gets the layup.
This second unit, it looks like they have quite a bit of chemistry going out there. Great ball movement, great vision, seeing the court right now, knowing where the open pass and open shots are, and making quick decisions, quick work of Hopedale right now.
So now the only player on the Lady Hawks roster who has not scored a point in this game tonight is Kate Lobuser. She is out on the floor now. Takes the pass inside. Can't quite finish. And now a good leading pass ahead.
Great job, though, hustling back by Rabinowitz. Pretty sure Hopedale heard footsteps there, and we might have a substitution coming in with a timeout by Milford.
Timeout called with 4 minutes and 19 seconds to go in the game. Milford now at an even 50 points. They lead this game 50-19 over Hopedale. We'll step away for the timeout. More to come next here on Milford TV. As Carl mentioned, Milford was outscored in the third quarter 12-11, but they have dropped 9 quick points here through the first 3+ minutes of the fourth quarter. And all of those points scored by the second unit, which has looked strong. Lobiser to Pierre Gustavo, back outside for Lovely, a little short on the attempt. And Hopedale tries to get up the floor in transition. The pass under the basket was offline and out of bounds.
Is Lovely on the score sheet? She's got 2 tonight.
She has 2. So we wait on Lobiser. Lovely able to get it to Lobiser inside, but kicks it back out. Pierre Gustavo back to Lovely from 3 off the front of the rim. And the ball deflects out of play. Milford with Lobiser, Croto, Pierre Gustavo, Lovely, and Rabinowitz, the 5 on the floor. Rachel Rizzo, the inside move. Ball clanks off the side of the rim and deflects to Pierre Gustavo, who pushes it up to Rabinowitz. Pierre Gustavo, the pump fake. Now back to Julie Rabinowitz, who shoots it from 3.
Here's your chance.
A rebound by Kate Lobiser. She's fouled and goes to the line, and a chance to make it a perfect night with every member of the Scarlet Hawks heard from. The bench willing Lobiser on here from the line. One more attempt coming up. Can't get it to rattle home. Play on at 50-19, closing in on 3 minutes to play. Maloney, the feed into the far wing, and almost was turned over. I believe they called the foul on Lovely. As Hopedale will inbound with 2:51 to play. All the way outside to Rizzo. A shot attempt by Jordan Wilson, the senior. Did not catch a rim on the way down. Bounces out of play. So that deflected off of Milford and out of play. Rizzo now makes the move inside. And now Hopedale will go to the line. They have just 2 points so far in this fourth quarter after 12 points in the third. And so far, Hopedale has done it all with 2 players. 9 points out of Kathleen Maloney and 10 points out of Taylor Goldstein. And 2 misses that time out of Rachel Rizzo. Two and a half minutes left in this one. Pierre Gustavo into Lobiser, who's swarmed by 3 defenders. Now Rabinowitz. Back and forth with long passes. They free up Pierre Gustavo from 3. It's no good. Croto able to track down the rebound. Milford with some long passes trying to spread out this Hopedale defense. Here's Lobiser inside. Hands it off to Rabinowitz. Now back out for Pierre Gustavo. The long 2.
Great looking shot. Nice arc, good form.
Puts Pierre Gustavo up to 9 points for the night. As we get another timeout called. Just 1:43 left to play in this one. A 52-19 Milford lead. We'll step away and have the conclusion of this non-conference rivalry game when we come back on Milford TV. Milford breaks the huddle with the same unit: Pierre Gustavo, Lovely, Rabinowitz, Croto, and Lobiser. As Hopedale also now back out on the floor. They inbound the basketball. 1:40 to go in this one. Milford breaking out to a 15-3 lead after the first quarter. Has not been a close one. Milford leading from wire to wire. Under 90 seconds to play as here's Lobiser from the free throw line and gets it to rattle home. The whole Milford bench on their feet as Lobiser joins the rest of her teammates.
And there goes Hopedale's last stand.
So every member of this Milford varsity roster scoring in this one here this evening.
Break out the small cups and tiny plates. It's officially a team party.
And now Lobiser getting the long lead pass. Gets into trouble, feeds it back outside to Lovely. Off the front of the rim, Croto. Thought she had the rebound, but gets plucked away. 40 seconds to go as Maloney has that one flank off the shoot tops, but she's able to track it down. Under 30 seconds to go as Goldstein backs inside, gets the shot off, but does not land. And Milford a chance now to dribble out the rest of the clock. Just 15 seconds left to go in this one as Milford will grab their 7th victory overall on the season. A couple more passes as they bounce it outside to Lovely. 3 seconds to go now. And there is your final buzzer. Milford wins this game tonight over Hopedale 54-19. A good effort from start to finish and a useful game for Coach Dolliver, no doubt about it, Carl, as you have a chance to see some personnel out on the floor that don't typically get a lot of minutes. A good opportunity to see what you have deeper onto your bench.
Yeah, I think the most positive thing you could take away from tonight's game is how strong the bench looked and the second unit playing together. It looked like they, could be starters for Hopedale almost, the second team, the way second team from Milford played. So on the other end, it's always, you're kind of in a good place as a team when you can look back at a 35-point win and know that there's plenty of things that you can still learn from with a month to go pretty much in the regular season. So, all around, even though you have things to learn from, I still see that as a positive and a lot to look forward to. And I'm excited to see how this team progresses over the next month.
And it's a big stretch of games coming up for the Lady Hawks. They'll next be in action on January 20th with a home game here against Sharon. We will have you covered for that one. They'll then head out on the road for a game against now Hockomock crossover opponent Oliver Ames before returning to Milford on January 27th, facing the high-octane Attleboro Lady Bombardier offense, one of the top offenses in all of the Hockomock League in terms of both boys and girls basketball. So that will certainly be one Coach Oliver has circled on the calendar as a tough defensive effort will be needed for Milford in that one. But their next opponent on the schedule is Sharon on the 20th. And again, we will be here in the gym for our coverage here on Milford TV. But that will wrap things up for tonight. A big thank you to our crew on hand. As always, our director, Rob O'Keefe, our camera operators, Mike Sperling, and Robert Arujo. And for Carl Wilhelm, I am Tim Coet. That final score, one final time. Milford defeats Hopedale by a final score of 54-19. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics right here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.